Welcome to the MGM Resorts NBA Summer League 2018. Summertime and the spectating is easy if you want to see some of the young talents coming to the NBA. And we'll see Tyronn Lue's Cleveland Cavaliers, the 8th seed here in the tournament portion of Summer League, against the Sacramento Kings, seeded 21st here so far. Welcome to tournament time here in Las Vegas. 8-time All-Star Vince Carter. I'm Matt Weiner. Good to have you along with us. We're going to take a look at the Kings and the Cavaliers. For Sacramento, story has been the number 2 overall pick, Marvin Bagley. He is done because of an injury here, but he showed just enough between Sacramento and here in Las Vegas to give his fans back in Sacto something to think about.
Very talented big man with the ability to shoot the ball, run the floor, make plays. It's going to be a great opportunity for him. A lot of young guys that have played, so he's going to be okay. I think he's going to be a special player for that team.
Some of the second-year players for the Kings shined in a win over Memphis here yesterday when they beat the Grizzlies by 14, including Justin Jackson, who had 20 on just 13 shots.
Tar Heel guy, first of all.
Yes.
And I'm going to talk about a Duke guy as well, but first, Justin Jackson and Frank Mason, 2 guys that who got a lot of minutes last year, played extremely well, particularly in the second part of the season. So I expected them to play extremely well here in Summer League. And then we have Harry Giles, who basically going through his rookie season right now, put a lot of work in. I got the opportunity to work with him all season and to watch his maturation. And people are going to be excited about his abilities to rebound, shoot the ball, and pass the ball extremely well.
Chris, you can't talk about the Cavaliers without mentioning the obvious. The post-LeBron James, well, the elephant out of the room in this case.
Exactly.
The post-LeBron James era, which begins this summer, and it begins with some of their young players, some of the second-year guys like Cedi Osman, like Ante Zizic, who've played well here, and, of course, their number 8 overall pick, Colin Sexton of Alabama.
He's a go-getter. He's tough-minded. He plays extremely hard, attacks the rim, fearless, very confident in his game. So I think he's going to do very well in this team. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers this year, though we think because LeBron has moved on, the team, I think, is really going to now just play their style of basketball. I've heard Coach Lue is going to go in a different direction. Of course, you're going to have to go in a different direction when you don't have LeBron James. But now with a guy like Colin Sexton adding to what they have, it's a great start.
Well, here are the starting lineups. We did have a late change for Sacramento. Frank Mason III was listed as a starter, apparently has a foot issue, and so Ike Irogbu will start. Last played in the G League last year with the Agua Caliente Clippers. There's Frank Mason.
I tell you what, I wanted to see this matchup between Sexton and Mason, because those are 2 hard-nosed, downhill point guards that, with bulldog mentality, that would go at each other. It would have been great to see.
Our officials, Vlad Voyard-Tadal, Matt Callio, and Evan Scott, and we are off and running with a big dunk from Marcus Lee out of Cal.
That's called young legs. First play of the game, lob dunk. Great job by Sexton, penetrating, making plays, and finding the open guy for an easy dunk, that is.
That'll get the crowd going here early on a Wednesday afternoon in Las Vegas. Justin Jackson had that turned away, couldn't connect. And back comes Sexton, handles the ball. Where's number 2 for the Cavaliers? Jamel Artis will try it and knock down the 3. Great offensive start for the Cavs here.
In the groove already. Once again, Sexton making plays, putting the ball on time, on target for his guys just to knock down easy shots.
Little mid-post now for Harry Giles. Did not play at all in what would have been his rookie season last year. And for folks who perhaps forgot, Vince was very much part of that Kings organization last season. Got to see him go firsthand as Wenyen Gabriel knocks down a 3.
Absolutely. I'm watching Harry, and I'm looking at all of the things that we've talked about and worked on, and just to see how he's progressed over the summer, and just great to see all of his hard work now getting the opportunity to play live action. Justin off here.
Jackson off on the 3. Cavaliers did miss a shot as Sexton pushes there. Finishes on the right side with the left hand. It's unusual but effective.
Very unusual. But I think he has a great feel for the game, and I think he understood there was a defender on his right hand that would have been blocked. So great awareness.
Some guys just have those instincts. Not even really thinking about it, just doing it as Giles is way off on that turnaround. There's Sexton handling the ball. Stands 6'2", cut off by Gabriel at his length.
Great defense.
O'Cara White has it for the Cavaliers, wearing number 9. Holland chased off the three-point line, can't connect at the rim. And back come the Sacramento Kings. They won just 27 games last season. That earned them the number 2 overall pick and a chance to take Marvin Bagley. That's a deep three by Jackson.
One thing about Jackson, he's put the work in a three-point shot. And one, you see Sexton, that's who he is. He gets downhill. And one thing about Sexton is that regardless of if he's hitting shots, he can get to the basket, and that's going to be great for a young team, well, a team that's now transitioning into their new style.
Sexton is a penetrator. He's only taken 6 3-pointers here so far in Las Vegas.
That means that's a guy who knows his game.
Yes. Nothing wrong with that.
I was saying earlier, Justin Jackson, he's put a lot of work in his jump shot. He's always very confident shooting three-point shot behind, deep behind the three.
The Sexton shot just under 34% from the college three last year as a freshman. And there aren't many one-and-done point guards who come into the NBA and light it up from outside.
And the one thing about it is, and I think what an organization will do is they say, hey, we need you to be you.
Right.
Be the player that you are. We're going to work on that jump shot, and as you feel comfortable, we progress and hopefully we get above 35%.
Kyrie Irving is one of the few point guards in recent years I can think of who came in as a one-and-done player and could really shoot right away.
Right.
9-3 Cleveland here early on. We've begun the tournament in Las Vegas as Sexton connects on the jumper. Nothing wrong with that stroke.
Still confident, though. Like I said, that's what Cleveland should be excited about. You have a point guard that knows he belongs in this league.
Sacramento will take a timeout, down by 8 here early on with the rookie Colin Sexton already making an imprint on this game. It's early. The Cavs are in command. Quick points for the rookie Colin Sexton. Cavaliers lead the Kings 11-3 as we begin our coverage of Vegas Summer League 2018 here for a Wednesday on NBA TV. Good to have you along with us, and we are joined by the NBA's all-time leading scorer, and I don't say this to suck up, but a man I've been arguing for years is the greatest of all time. Lost in the LeBron versus Michael Jordan, etc. argument. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar sporting his Dodger colors.
You're not a Dodger fan, are you?
I've been a Dodger fan since they were in Brooklyn.
I was going to say, because we've had this conversation before. It goes back a ways with you.
Yeah, I went to games at Ebbets Field.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I was 10 when they left. I cried. My mom had to console me. And then 8 years later, I followed them.
I was going to say, then you followed them out to L.A.
Yeah.
And here you are with the Yasiel Puig jersey in Las Vegas.
My freshman year at UCLA, I went to the World Series, Dodgers, Minnesota.
Wow. Wow. Favorite all-time Dodger?
Geez, Roy Campanella. That's probably. Man, Roy was awesome. And then at summertime, I would listen to the games on the radio with my mother. Mm-hmm. And when they played St. Louis or Chicago or Milwaukee, the games were an hour later in New York.
Right.
And I had to go to bed. And and my mom said, "You have to go to sleep." And the game is on. The Dodgers are losing. And my mom would tell me, "No, you can go to sleep now. Roy Campanella will be up next inning." So and more often than not, Roy would come through late in the innings. Man, he was an awesome individual and fun to watch.
Well, I've told you this as a kid. I grew up in St. Louis, which at the time was a non-NBA city, mm-hmm. and you'd have the games on tape delay, the NBA Finals and whatnot. So I'd watch your LA teams in the late 70s, early 80s on tape delay, and I'd fall asleep because I was a kid. And I'd fall asleep and I'd wake up with snow on the television, which kids out there are going, "What is that?" They don't know what that is.
Exactly.
And because there was no internet then, it would take 2 days to find out who won the game.
Right. I got a great
Jerry. I have a question for you. How'd you do? Did you guys win most of those?
Roy used to come through in the late innings. He batted eighth. He hit 35 home runs a number of times, was the MVP 3 times. He was incredible. Another weather story about one of our favorite Lakers, Jerry West, was listening to the Joe Louis Billy Conn fight, and he was a big Joe Louis fan.
Right.
And Joe Louis lost every round until the round that he knocked Billy Conn out. But a storm came in right in the middle of rounds in West Virginia, where Jerry was from. the game, the fight just went
disappeared.
Just turned static, and he didn't find out for 2 days that Joe Louis had pulled it out.
You kids out there, you don't know how easy you have it.
Man, exactly.
Hey,
there's always something on TV now.
These are wonderful times for a sports fan.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely. Well, speaking of Lakers, how excited are you with their addition in LeBron James?
I think that the city's gone nuts, man. You know, the city is like, oh my goodness, we're going to get to see some World Championship basketball, maybe.
Right.
I think they still need a player on the front line. I think.
Right.
They're still short a player, but I think he's going to make a big difference. They're definitely playoff bound at this point. And the young players on that team now have somebody that's going to teach them and show them, you know, with practical examples how to play the game and how to win. And that's the biggest thing. They don't know how to win yet. They don't understand, you know.
Particularly on that level. Yeah.
Right, you know.
Or any level.
The defensive part of the game that they all want to ignore.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I think he's going to do great for Kuzma as well.
Oh yeah, because now all of a sudden they have a legitimate threat that's gonna and a leader.
Yeah, it's going to open up the floor for him.
He's a leader in on the court and off the court. I think he's going to be great.
So many of these top-tier stars are signing 1-and-1 deals with an option on the back end. I felt like the 4-year deal was a signal to the league, for one, that he was in it for the long haul, and that maybe an acknowledgement that the Lakers aren't contender ready this upcoming season, and that this was a building process.
Yeah, I think the fans have to accept that. You know, don't think that we're going to be in the finals this year, unless something else happens.
But you never know with him. You never know with him.
Yeah. I always remembered the deal that Red Auerbach made to get Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish. You know, all of a sudden they were ready to take on the world.
Speaking of Red Auerbach, the Bill
there
Russell
is.
is here.
Number 6.
My guy.
Number 6.
Yep. I started going to see him play when I was in the 8th grade. I had the good fortune to see doubleheaders at Madison Square Garden. You know, the Boston team would often play a game there along with the Knicks. I didn't learn anything from the Knicks. I learned a whole lot watching Bill Russell.
That's hard to relate to now. A doubleheader at Madison Square Garden.
Can you imagine that?
How about that?
Unbelievable.
Oh, man.
Unbelievable.
November 1960, I was at the game when Elgin got 72 against the Knicks.
Really?
I was at that game.
Wow.
And I snuck down to the real good seats for the second half.
So you got to see it up close.
Up close, man. It was awesome.
You know, you can speak to that because I feel like Elgin Baylor is a little underrated among the all-time greats. And I was not able to see him play. Obviously, he's got a statue outside Staples. Right. He shows up on all the scoring lists and everything, but you don't hear him mentioned.
And the further back you go, the more common that is. You know, people don't appreciate Dave Bing.
Right. Right.
And you know, he'd come out here and show these guys a few things. If in his prime, these guys are incredible athletes, but Dave was, and there are a number of guys like that. And as you go further back in time, you know, there's no perspective.
Just like we don't hear about the Big O as much.
Right.
And guys don't understand. You know, I always tell young guys, I say, well, it doesn't matter if you don't know the history of the game. At least understand the history of the team that you play for.
Right.
Like, and I think that's important. I think they'll have more appreciation about being in the NBA, more appreciation about wearing the jersey that they have on, and they work harder to stay on the NBA roster.
You're absolutely right, because by learning the history of their team, it gives them, it increases their perspective and gets them to check those things out that I mentioned just earlier.
And part of it's simply just knowing the players you saw play when you were a kid. You know, and some of those guys folks have not seen. I've had this discussion about you versus LeBron and Michael Jordan because I work with plenty of people who never really saw you play at this point, and I'm old.
I saw Nate Thurman play with Howie Colmives when he was in college, and then I had to go and play against him as a rookie. That wasn't fun. You know?
One of the great rebounders of all time, Nate Thurman.
Right, and no, and you know, some guys are beat on me and said they play defense. Nate could D.
Right.
You know, he had the agility, the length, and you know, he was wily. He wasn't like just brute strength.
Right.
And he could play the game.
You know, we're in the space and pace era now, and big guys shooting threes. And who from your era or even from your childhood, and I'm going to ask you to hold this thought for a second. We're going to go to a break. If you'll stick around for us, I want to get your thoughts on this. Who would translate from that era to now best? We'll talk about that when we come back from Las Vegas. Cleveland's 20 points so far, and they have a 6-point lead here late in the first quarter from Las Vegas. We're talking it over with the all-time leading scorer in the NBA, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And before the break, I was about to ask you, who from your era, or even when you started watching NBA basketball, among the bigs would translate best to this era of basically no post-up basketball, stretching the floor, bigs shooting threes?
Dan Issel could shoot it from outside. Lane Beer made a few.
Yeah.
Bob McAdoo, wow.
Yes.
And you know, I played with Bob for a couple of years.
Yeah.
He could, when he played center, right his early career, you know, it was difficult for me. I had to go out there and guard him. You know, out where I didn't play my best defense. So
Jerry Lucas, that's another good one.
Jerry Lucas could hit that, but he wasn't really a center. You know,
right, that's true too. That's true.
Yeah.
What players, and I'm interested to hear your answer with this, could translate the other way back into your time? Because we always talk about players playing now.
Yeah.
But what players could play back in your day and time when it was a little more physical, when you can, a little more hands-on, if you would? It wasn't like the touch fouls now.
And
with the illegal defense rule, as you know, was a lot different than what it is now as well.
Yeah, I don't necessarily even understand it now.
Nobody does.
Oh, you definitely did. It changed during my early years, so I'm used to it now. But I'm talking about, as far as the old rules, who could translate and still be as productive in your time?
Well, there's some guys that could just straight out shoot it. Don Ole played for St. Louis, the Hawks. He could shoot it from deep. Lou Hudson, Jerry West, Gail Goodrich, they could fill it and at distance. And you know, it's too bad those guys didn't get to play longer. Oscar, absolutely. I used to practice with Oscar, and him and Bob Dandridge would like make bets and, you know, shoot from near half court. Oscar he had incredible range.
Do you think any players could translate into your era from the current era now?
Oh, certainly, man.
You can think of?
Jeez, man. Anthony Davis, he can go in any era and play for any team at any position. You got guys that are doing that now. Young man from St. Louis now, Ben.
Jason Tatum?
No, Ben, I'm forgetting his name. I'm sorry. I mean, no, from the 76ers.
Ben Simmons.
Oh, Simmons.
Ben Simmons.
Okay. Yeah.
I've seen he's doing between his legs with one hand and
6'10".
Stuff I've never conceived, though.
Yeah.
Can you imagine shooting three-point shots? I mean, would you see the game now? Could you imagine yourself pick and pop?
I'm
talking three-point shot now, pop.
I was 1 for 13. And those are desperation shots.
Right. Yeah, those are good shots.
But the one I made actually was a good shot. It was a long rebound. I went out to the corner and got it, and nobody came to guard me. So I stepped back, took my time, and I made it.
Do you like? Oh, look at Vlade Divac.
Yeah,
classic big man.
I went with him to his rookie training camp.
Wow.
It's my first year on the bench. I mean, in retirement, and the Lakers invited me to camp.
Wow.
How do you view the stylistic changes?
I think the coaches have finally figured out how to make this type of game work. The fans love it. You know, I think there are too many three-point shots. You know,
it's the math.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
The math, the extra point has changed everything, and the fact that now you can't guard people physically.
Right.
So you know that that is made for the game that we have now. But it's an exciting game. The fans love it. I just don't think it should be a three-point shooting game. You know, I think the inside and outside aspects of it, there should be some balance.
I get the math. I do miss the post up. I miss the footwork of it. There's an artistry, a grace that goes with that.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to score in there when you, when
that's
you
what I was
can
going to
do
say.
that.
Yeah, well, it's a little easier. It's wide open now.
Yeah.
But I work with you in the playoffs, in the finals this year, and you have a book.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, how's the book doing?
How's the
book's
book doing?
doing well.
Book did very well. Thank you. Becoming Kareem. It's about how I learned how to be an adult. And before that, I did my relationship with Coach Wooden.
How many books have you written now before we let you go?
16.
16.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Congratulations. Great to see you again. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, everybody. We'll be back with more Vegas Summer League after this.
Summer League, I'm Roz Golden-Woode. I'm along with Marvin Bagley III of the Sacramento Kings. And the reason you can talk to me is because you can't play because you have a pelvic bone injury. And I'm just curious about the injury. Where does it affect you? And what are you doing right now as far as exercises to get better in rehab?
Just trying to get it better, resting it. It was bothering me a little bit, during the last time I was out there. So
where?
Huh?
Where did it bother you? Like how?
I came down, a little tweak or something. Thought it was a tweak. And it's bothering me in my groin area, my hip flexor. So I'm just trying to rest it, doing therapy and stretching it out and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to take it one day at a time.
Now, you did have a chance to play 4 Summer League games. So just curious, what did you learn so far? What are the things that have come easier, and what are the things that have been a little bit tougher?
For me, it's just about learning as much as I can. Being out there playing, getting the feel for the game, the speed of the game is a little bit different than college. Just being able to kind of see things that I didn't see in college. So, it's just all, having fun and just learning process is one.
Another thing that's different from college when you were at Duke, a very dominant program, you're joining an organization. It's going to be an uphill battle this season. How do you approach this new challenge in your career?
Just take it head on. Just have fun with it. Like I said, learn as much as I can and just try to help the team out in any way I can. So I'm just trying to get used to the guys right now who are going to be on the team and talking to coach and all the coaching staff. And I think it'll be a fun, exciting year for me.
You've got a lot of young talent, De'Aaron, people like that. How are they reaching out, leading you, and what kind of advice are they giving? Because they're just learning themselves too.
Yeah, everybody's learning. We're learning together, and I think that's what's going to make us special. With the young group that we have, being able to play as much as we can together and grow together. Down the line, I think just by us being younger now, it'll help us when we get to get a little bit older, a little bit more experience in the league. So I think it'll be a good thing for us.
Last one for you. Just curious, are there players right now in the league that you're watching or modeling your game after right now?
There's a lot. I like watching Giannis, Anthony Davis, just guys like that, just who are so versatile and who go inside and out and play on defense as well. So I'm just trying to learn as much. Like I said, it's all learning. So I'm learning from anybody I can, and not just NBA, but WNBA, high school, college, anything I can learn from.
Awesome. You got a sponge mentality. Well, I wish you speedy recovery and a good start to your career.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Guys.
All right, Roz, thank you very much. And Bagley played here on Saturday against Phoenix. It's when he suffered the injury and he was done. 15.7 boards in that game. But because of the prior tournament, the California Classic in Sacramento, they got 4 games out of him, which is not much different than you would want to get out of your top overall pick anyway. It's probably similar to what he would have played anyway.
And I think the fans probably want to see him here in Vegas.
Of course.
But at the same time, they got what they needed out of him. They know what direction they need to go in as far as working on his game and getting him tuned up for the season. So most important right now is taking care of that injury because they don't want any lingering injury coming into the season.
Interesting you mentioned Giannis Antetokounmpo and Anthony Davis as role models for him. His game seems to me to fall sort of between the two of them. He's not going to be the ball handler more than likely that Giannis has become in Milwaukee. But
but
a smooth scorer.
He's comfortable doing it.
And really bouncy. His second jump is really impressive.
I tell you, before the season started, talking to Justin Jackson, he talked about Bagley and his ability to dribble the ball, his second jump, very bouncy, his awareness in the game. He's like, hey, watch him at Duke. He's going to be very good. And it's funny, two Carolina guys talking about a Duke player. I know you're going to probably mention that. But he had a lot of respect for him, and he has a lot of ability. So now him saying that, it all makes sense.
16-4 Sacramento run here to pull within 2 in the second quarter in Las Vegas. Matt Weiner, Vince Carter, you just heard from Rosgold on Woode. Zach August tees up a 3. Kisses the hand on his way back in as Sacramento celebrates its first lead.
I'm curious how many threes he took in college.
Not very many at Notre Dame, no.
Yeah.
Maybe he took some in Greece with Panathinaikos last season.
Well, probably so with the game translating. I mean, I think now with the game translating into like big shooting threes, it shouldn't surprise us. But hey, still, I'm like, hey, he's the typical big, post up big, but now you see all types of big shooting.
You know, looking at his numbers, he shot 69% with Panathinaikos last season, which tells me he probably didn't take a lot of threes.
Exactly. And he's an active body around the rim, so. And he shot it with confidence.
Yeah.
You see, has the hands ready. Matt Jones with the rebound. I mean, he didn't hesitate, didn't look to pass or anything, and left it up there. Guns blazing.
Former Notre Dame star, 6'10".
Active
in Summer League in 2016 and 17. Still trying to find his way into the NBA on a permanent basis, as are so many of the players here. Devin Williams now at the free throw line for Sacramento out of West Virginia. Played his pro ball in Puerto Rico last season. Sacramento just 27 wins you guys had last season as you developed young players. De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield.
20 wins?
27. 27 and 55.
Oh, okay.
And this team, of course, is in the middle of the longest playoff drought in the NBA right now, thanks to Minnesota ending.
I tell you what, it was rough, but at the same time, you can see the comfort level, particularly coming out of the All-Star break. Guys start to settle down a little more. You start playing teams a second or a third and a fourth time, so you're comfortable with your scouting reports, things like that, where these guys, it just takes time. And you know, I was very pleased and thankful to play in a place where the fans were patient and they understood the situation, and they just want to see some positivity, and they're definitely seeing positivity with the maturation of their guys that play like Fox, now Giles coming in, and Jackson, so on and so forth. So they have a lot to be excited about.
John Holland with the bucket on one end and then drew an offensive foul on the other for the Cavaliers. By the way, it's just been handed to me. Zach August was 0 for 1 from three-point range during his Notre Dame career.
Oh, there's Coach. Coach is in the building. But I also, Sacramento's coach, Larry Lewis, is a player development. He does a wonderful job with with working with the young guys and putting them through drills. And he just has a basketball mind. And he's one of those guys who studies the game, loves the game, and he just wants to see these guys make it in their career.
Got a technical foul on Larry Lewis, and Sexton will shoot the free throw. And you're going to be intense to pick up a technical foul in Summer League.
He's the nicest guy you ever want to meet, but he has that intensity in him. He's a basketball player. Now, when you get to talk about basketball, the intensity and the love of the game comes out of him, so I can imagine.
Apparently did a little too much talking.
Yes.
And it cost them a point. The Summer League tournament continues tonight in Las Vegas on NBA TV and the ESPN app. We've got Chicago and Dallas coming up here next. Atlanta and the Indiana Pacers, Golden State and Charlotte all ahead. Pacers are the last team that hadn't played in the Las Vegas Summer League. All 30 teams represented here this season.
Something like 82 games so
82 games total as Holland can't get that to fall. John Holland has nice touch on that jump shot.
He plays hard, man. Plays hard.
Good job in post defense and then draws a foul. That's a good job by Holland, who's been a pest on both ends here. did a good job defensively to create that steal and created a little frustration as well, and drew the foul. We're going to review that.
I got to see that.
Brandon Austin, see the little frustration there.
He
Unnecessary in the backcourt. He did sell it.
He sold it.
Got the hair flying.
He got exactly. That's what it was.
Helps the cause.
Look at this. Oh, he killed him.
But that is Austin coming back into the backcourt
right.
to get a hand on Holland,
which drives
completely unnecessary.
It drives Coach Dave crazy. That's one of the things he couldn't stand. Guys, after you make a turnover, you tend to reach for the ball.
This is game number 47 in the Vegas Summer League, by the way.
I'm sure there's some.
Do we have another angle on the foul? Some question as to how much acting Holland was doing. See Dave Yeager and Vlade Divac taking it
Zach
in.
Randolph in the building. I see him walking down the steps.
Zebo's here?
Yeah, he's right there.
Zebo. Yes, he is.
He's in the building.
He's got concessions. Look at that. Got some snacks.
There he is.
All right, Zebo.
First name 20, last name 10.
That's right. That's right. For so long, it's been so productive. Got the shades going here in Las Vegas. They're reviewing for a flagrant foul, and they will confer now. See what explanation we get. Common foul is the rule. There's the call. And we'll all move on. Vlade Divac was amused and giving John Holland get him a hard time about the foul. Vlade of all people, right?
Right, exactly.
Vlade knows a flop when he sees one.
Yes, he does. Will we consider him the originator?
He's the first person I ever heard described as a flopper.
Yeah.
I don't know that he originated the move, but he's the first person I ever heard called out for it.
Yeah, exactly. Because I recall, and yes, I did play against Vlade. Every time he would get the ball and he would put the ball up under your arm and you hit down, he would fall as if you karate chopped him.
Well, that's the Kevin Durant move now, right? Except for without the calling part.
Ginobili as well.
Giles with the bucket will take a break. Cleveland on top by a point here in Las Vegas. Kings by one. Harry Giles going to the free throw line here.
There's Harry Giles been working on the post up. Great feel. Takes the contact off the glass. See it with the crab dribble. Utilizing the body. I tell you, working with him from the beginning of the year, and now at the end of the year, he's worked on his body, worked on his game, very confident, and it's great to see it all come to fruition.
It's easy to forget, when folks want players to produce right away, that he sat out the entirety of what should have been his rookie season. He's had significant knee surgeries going back to high school, Oak Hill, but you're talking about a top 2 high school player in the country coming out of high school. What can he be in the NBA if it all goes right health-wise?
He is a very active body. He can post up. Now he's showing he can shoot the ball. He's a great passer. I think that's what excites Vlade more than anything, because we know Vlade's ability to pass the basketball. He's just a great guy, great teammate, funny guy, and he wants to be a good player. And he wants to. He's not once. He studies the game, and he asks a lot of questions. And I think that's what gravitated me to him more so than vice versa, is because he asks a lot of questions. He wants to learn and be a great basketball player, and I love it. And Justin Jackson was the same way.
Giles was the 20th pick in last summer's draft. Drafted by Portland, traded to Sacramento, part of the deal that sent Zach Collins to the Blazers. But did not play a second for the Kings last season. And here's why. Going back to June of 2013, 5 years ago now. Just tore up the left knee, ACL, MCL, and meniscus.
Wow.
And then partially tore the ACL in his right knee back in November of 2015. Still in high school there. Arthroscopic surgery on the left knee in October of 2016. Basically didn't play as a senior in high school. And then barely played at Duke before coming to Sacramento. And here he is going to work with the left hand. That's short.
But I think that this organization could see the potential and the talent that he has in his game. And one thing they did, I think that was just a smart job of just sitting him down, letting all of these injuries in the knees heal, and going from there. He gained weight, good weight. Right. When we say gain weight, well, let's just say gain muscle. He gained inches on his vertical. He's jumping higher, like he's more explosive. So it turns out to be a great idea. And the greatest thing of all of this is he was willing to do it, and he was patient through the process. And that's what it is. Because once he was healthy, he could have gotten back on the court, but he was patient. Right. And that's big for a young guy like that.
It's interesting that this has become accepted practice in the NBA. And you think about Blake Griffin, for instance, who couldn't play for what would have been his rookie year because of his knee injury. But we've had other guys who probably could have. Joel Embiid certainly probably could have come back during what would have been his rookie season. I don't know if Ben Simmons, and I don't know what's going to happen with Michael Porter in Denver, but they're going to play it safe for certain. And they keep saying until he's 100%, and we're absolutely certain that he's as healthy as he can be. He's not going to take the floor. It wouldn't surprise me a bit if he doesn't play this
they're
season.
investing a lot of money in him, and unfortunately, a lot of guys teams didn't take a chance on him, obviously, but. You know, for him, that's motivation, and just to get his body right. And when it comes time, he can just do what he needs to do.
We're seeing a lot of Giles in the post here the last few possessions. He's gone to the left hand. He's gone to the right hand.
It all looks so familiar. All looks so familiar. That we worked tirelessly with that, and just continuing his endurance. And it's now he's not thinking. He's just going for it, and it's great to see.
How big a part of that game will the post-up be moving forward?
I'm sure they'll definitely feature him because he has that ability. Sexton getting to the paint once again, but he has that ability to post up and make play. Not even to score, he can make plays for other guys, but he also can step out. He can block shots. So I think they'll definitely give him a touch or two in the post.
Sexton, the first player into double figures. He's got 11 now. Cavaliers lead it by 5. 34
I think he has one jump shot. Maybe
Sexton. I think he hit one
jump shot at the top
in the
of the
game.
key, and everything else has been layup. And he gets downhill.
Here's Sexton doing his thing.
There it is, weaving, using his body, good body control for the left hand layup.
Sexton did miss a 3.
Moves his feet well.
Great move. Short on the mid-range jumper. That warm breeze coming in from outside. Thomas and Mack. By the way, it's only like 98 here.
That's
today.
It. Yeah, that's considered.
Which Vegas in July, that's comfortable.
I tell you, I was on the golf course Sunday. Thank goodness I was done. It was 1-4. Right. It was 114 out there. But I was done. I missed it. I missed the heat. That was tough take, hanging on him.
How about this finish
body
by
control?
Sexton?
Look at that. Takes the bump, body control, and hey, just get it up on the glass, and anything can happen.
Colin Sexton now 6 of 8 from the field, 13 points, and a chance for number 14 here, and an 8-point Cavalier lead.
I was telling you off the air. I mean, he's bigger than I thought. He has an NBA. He's NBA ready.
Yeah, solid build.
Yeah.
So many guys come in, those one-and-done guys, so many come in need of 20 or 30 or 40 pounds for the big guys. Not the case for Colin Sexton. I would imagine he wouldn't look a whole lot different 10 years from now in the NBA.
He only gets bigger and stronger. Then I think he'll be built like along the lines of a Westbrook then.
Right, yeah.
Which could be dangerous for the league.
Missed on the mid-range there. There's a Rogbu. Goes to the Euro step, and they're going to say travel on a Rogbu. Got to refine that Euro step. That was More like mid-Atlantic.
Welcome back to Las Vegas Summer League. Cavs up by 5. I'm Rosgold on Woody. Last season, De'Aaron Fox and Frank Mason III were rookie point guards in the league. And I spoke with Frank Mason, and he said part of the hardest thing was learning the terminology and language of the NBA. What is his team saying? What is the other team saying? And also learning how to be young leaders in the NBA. So Vince, I actually asked him about having you as a veteran leader last season. And he said, man, that guy's always got a smile on his face. And he, by example, taught us how to be a pro every day on and off the court, how to work hard. So now I'm going to turn it on you, Vince. You know, what do you think is the next jump for that young backcourt?
It's funny. He better mention me because he sat by me in the locker room and we talked all the time. And for them, it's just continue to learn how to run the team. And for Frank, finding the balance between being a scorer and being a facilitator. I think that's the thing for him, as well as De'Aaron, because they had the ability to get to the basket whenever they wanted to, but they have to find a happy medium when your bigs maybe need a touch and things like that. And they started to learn that in the second half of the season, and they're maturing. So it's great to see these guys acknowledge that and work on that game.
Zach August with the and one opportunity there. He's got 11 points now for the Kings.
He runs the floor extremely well,
He
too.
does.
Yes.
He does. That's how you shoot 69%. Off the back rim there, 3-point game.
Gotta show some love to my golf buddy, Garrett Temple.
Garrett Temple.
Sitting beside Vlade over there.
Just opted back in
Yes, he did.
Sacramento.
Hey,
there you are, that royal purple Kings jersey. 8-time NBA All-Star, and I've got the numbers here.
those were a long time ago, man.
You were 412 points shy of catching Reggie Miller for 20th on the all-time scoring list.
Jeez.
And as folks who are wondering, still available.
Oh, still available.
Free agent.
Yes. I have to keep my phone right here just in case.
Phone's right there.
Just in case.
Could happen any moment.
Any moment.
I asked you this last year in Orlando. We were doing games together. What are you looking for in terms of a fit?
Nothing changes for me. Just opportunity. With free agency and the way, with money and opportunity and the way teams are forming right now, I just have to wait and see. I know my lane. And I know once the Kawhi Leonards and all of these guys figure out, or teams figure out who goes where and what's available, that's when my phone tends to ring. So I'm patient.
Well, first of all, good for you that you're around 20 years in to be in this position. But I am curious about how you view the dynamic. It's so different from 15 years ago.
Sure.
When obviously, if you're a free agent, everybody in the league would want you. They'd be backing up the truck, as folks say.
Yeah.
And now you're just in a different position.
Yeah, I am, and I've accepted that and I understand it. And as long as I'm still getting phone calls. That's at the end of the day, there's a lot of guys that are younger than me that aren't getting phone calls. So to be considered and wanted by a team, obviously I would love the opportunity to play for a championship. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But my love for the game doesn't change. My willingness to help the young guys in the NBA, whether they're my teammates or not, doesn't change. And that's what it's all about. The money is the money. Obviously, you want to be compensated for what you bring to the table, obviously. But, at the end of the day, it's just I want to continue to play this game because I love it. Like, I wake up and I still cannot say, Vince, you're retired. I can't accept that yet.
It's not a job yet still.
No, this is still something I love to do.
And obviously, based on our conversations and your interactions with the young guys, you've embraced the whole mentor idea.
Yeah, it's fun for me. It's great, and I still learn. I still learn this game and talking with these guys, and obviously, for me, the Euro step and just the lingo. This is so many. I say the Euro step because I wasn't a guy that was thinking about a Euro step. Obviously, Ginobili was one of the guys who brought it, but you see a lot of guys using now.
Yeah.
And they work on it now. I was like, man, back in the day, There was no such thing for me as a Euro step. I'm going through you or over you. So, I mean, it's just great to be around the young talent, and I enjoy it.
Did you ever embrace the Euro step? I don't remember you using this.
Not really.
No.
I mean, I work on it. I work with the guys on it, and they laugh at me all the time. They're like, man, what is that? I mean, I call it my version of the Euro. It's okay. As long as I can get it in the basket somehow, that's all that matters.
There's probably some other guys who did it prior to Manu, but he really popularized it. Yeah, certainly in the NBA.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of guys, but I mean, we knew in scouting reports when you were reading up on Manu, you had to be prepared for the Euro step and his awkward left, his awkward game. You know, and he was a lefty at the same time.
I think Sharunas Marshalonis probably employed that.
Yes.
Yeah, back with the Warriors.
I mean,
I don't remember if Petrovic had a Euro
I want to say
somewhat.
I want to say it was a European move.
Yeah.
That is now utilized, and a lot of coaches work on it. I mean, I know playing for Coach Dave Fizdale, we had a segment dedicated to just working on types of Euro moves or just those type of moves. And for me, you see all the young guys doing it, but yet God Shamgod, he's my age. He was amazing as well. Who had a Euro in his game as well, believe it or not. But it was just different. So they all used to laugh at me because of it.
No need to laugh. Vince Carter going to the Hall of Fame.
I said I used to use hang time.
Sexton with 15 here in the first half. Lost that out of bounds with 30 seconds to go. The Kings will get it back down by 10. Excuse me, make it 16 for Colin Sexton. I don't want to short him here in the first half.
Justin Jackson out here playing the point guard. He did a little bit of that in college as well. He has a great feel for the game as well.
Really aggressive shooter.
Great guy, great defender. I think when it's said and done, he's going to be a great two-way player as well.
He got the call.
Had a lot of battles with this guy.
And banged
to the hip. I think got hit in the hip.
Yep. Go to the free throw line. Just under 14 seconds to go here before halftime. Jackson, part of that national championship team.
Yes.
At North Carolina.
I was there. I was there for the win and the loss to Jalen Brunson.
Oh, both of them, yeah.
I was there for that. Ooh.
Well, you got to take the good with the bad.
Ooh.
You know?
But the good should have been good twice. Like, yeah, it was gut wrench.
Well, that's a tough one to swallow.
It was like, yes, 4 seconds. No.
We're going to see Ryan Arcidiacono in the second game. He had the assist on that game-winning bucket.
Yes, he did.
Chris Jenkins.
Jenkins is here in Summer League. I saw him. I wanted to have words with those guys, but I deferred.
Yeah, you got to move on.
Yes.
You got to move on. .36, shooting just under 42%. Kings are at 27.5%. Which should be an alarming number if it weren't for the fact that this is Summer League and you got a lot of guys who are thrown together.
Yeah.
Don't necessarily know the offensive sets for the teams they're playing with. Haven't played together before in many cases.
Yeah, and like we said before, the later you get into Summer League, Vegas, you start the guys that are going to be on the team aren't playing, so it's just a little different.
Yep. You start giving other players opportunities.
Yep.
Carl White had that tipped, and at the half will tell you out here.
Colin Sexton is a live body as well.
Yeah. And he was good offensively with 16 points and 3 assists. Cleveland takes an 8-point lead into the locker room. It's 44-36. Much more coming up here from Las Vegas. The MGM Resorts Vegas Summer League continues.
Summer League, we are at halftime of the Cavs-Kings game, and I have the pleasure of having Garrett Temple with me of the Sacramento Kings. And I just wanted to talk about these young players for your Kings team. Who's standing out for you so far? What kind of expectations do you have for the guys here at Summer League?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Roz. I think Justin Jackson has had a really great Summer League. He's a guy that was up and down in our rotation during the season. Had was sent down to the D League to get a little more playing time. But I think he showed his experience and has played really well consistently for us. I was really excited about Bagley, especially that first dunk he had. And Fox, De'Aaron's ability to run a team, even though he only played one or two games, just his ability to run a team. And I can't forget Harry Giles. People have been seeing him, wanting to see him play. And he just made a pass toward the end of the second quarter that me and Vladdy were like, this is what we saw, him practicing against us last year. This is the thing that we see. And, Harry has done a great job, and he's going to continue to improve.
I know you bring such leadership, and the players have so much respect for you as a veteran on the team, but you always have to look at that point guard position, and you have youth there with De'Aaron Fox and even Frank Mason III. For De'Aaron, what are the steps he has to take to really control the team, not only with his skill and physical ability, but with his mind and with his voice?
I think the big thing about De'Aaron is he's poised. He's a very poised player. He doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low, and as a point guard, especially in this league, you need to have that. You need to have that poise. I think Frank also has that subtle poise, but both of them are very competitive. So you don't want guys that are too laid back at that position because they got to compete against the best players every night. So I think they have a good balance between poise but having that competitive fire. De'Aaron's the laid back guy, but he'll hit that game winner against you.
All right, I want your expertise now on the league as a whole, especially in the Western Conference. How have things changed in the West now that LeBron has joined it?
Yeah, I think it's more horses to go against Golden State and Houston. We got to play against LeBron and Golden State, Steph Curry and them, 4 times a year. But it's just going to make more people compete and try to dethrone the Warriors in the West. Houston almost were able to do that last year before Chris got hurt. But it just makes more. They talk about competitive balance, but at the end of the day, everybody has a chance to get in the gym and play. So guys are going to continue to get better, and we're going to compete every night.
For sure, and I wish you the best of luck as you get your young guys going, and this season for you too.
Appreciate it, Roz. Thanks for having me.
All right, more Summer League action coming up. Stay with us.
The MGM Resorts NBA Summer League 2018. The playoffs have begun. They're here in Las Vegas. Single elimination. Can't win if you don't win each game from here on out. Cavaliers have a 44-36 lead. Matt Weiner, Vince Carter here. Roz Golden Woodays working the sidelines for us. And in this first half, Cavaliers have gotten just about exactly what they would like to see from their rookie Colin Sexton.
He's been tremendous. He's as publicized, and as we see here, just dribbling, finding time, throwing the lob on time, on target. Right here out in transition, just attacking the rim. He has an attack mentality, just getting to the rim. Here's the dribble, hesitation to the jump shot, shooting it with confidence. But who he is a guy that can get downhill, and he puts his body on guys. He has great body control, able to finish, and you can tell he loves to compete and he loves the game.
Well, you mentioned it. It's a young man who obviously knows his game. He's only taken 1 3-pointer here, 6 of 10 from the field for 16 points. As the Cavaliers led by as many as 14 in the first half. Here's Giles in the mid-post for Sacramento as we start in the third quarter. It was a good pass, not handled on the other end, and it goes as a turnover for Sacramento. And you mentioned his passing ability.
Yeah, he has point guard-like vision. He can see the floor. He wowed us in practice so many times with his ability to pass. And sometimes when you have a big, you don't expect the no-look pass or the bounce pass in between defenders, and he can do that.
Oh, Carl White with the 3, give him 10.
I like a Carl White, very active. In my days with the Grizzlies, Carl was on their summer league team, and I practiced with him and got the opportunity to play and bang with him a little bit, and he plays very hard.
Played a few NBA games. Sexton, a little hesitation. Look at him hang and draw the foul. It's nicely done by Colin Sexton.
Yeah, you see where he's going. I mean, as a big, you want to tell him to back off and give him some room. But he gets back past the first big, and the second big, he sees Giles there, and he still tries to go through his chest. Very aggressive.
You know, doing a game with you is very much like the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
You're right.
You've played with everyone or with their father.
Exactly. I mean, if you look at the bench, I look at Cleveland's bench right now, and I played against all the guys that played in an NBA game there. I played against. Oh shoot!
It's Matt Callio has left the floor here. And so we're down to 2 referees for the moment.
Man, I hope he's okay.
Hopefully Matt is okay. I don't think folks appreciate how physically demanding it is to officiate an NBA game.
You're right.
He's being tended to in the runway off court. Here's Giles will try a 3 now. That's off the front rim. Artis, the underhand pass to Carl White. Holland has it now. Tried to get it down low. Probably should just taken it himself.
Did you just see how Harry? There's a no look.
Giles with a great look to set up.
But did you see
Jackson.
how he picked the ball up?
Yeah.
Well, he just palmed it and started the break. Like that's what he can do. That's what he brings to the table. Just another big, so he can get the rebound and start the break.
And his 4th assist this afternoon. Sexton, the floater. Colin Sexton just keeps getting into the teeth of that Sacramento defense and making things happen. He's got 19 now.
Very impressed with him.
Here's August to the reverse and 1.
Yeah, if you look right here, the ball's on the floor. Harry just said, let me just palm that. Like it's a volleyball. Start the break. I'm going to look you off. Justin, I see you. Here it comes.
August to the free throw line to try to complete the 3-point play, the traditional 3-point play. He's got 14. Kings back within 8 as Sexton brings it up. Avery Johnson said Colin Sexton might be the fastest player he's ever seen.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. Well, he's been in the college game for a while, so okay, that's fine.
That could be coach hype. I don't know.
Yeah, but well, no, he's seen De'Aaron Fox. I would say De'Aaron Fox. He's seen him live as well.
He might be hyping up his own
for sure,
guy.
as he should. Because De'Aaron Fox,
is awfully fast, and Avery's seen him.
He played, and Avery Johnson probably guarded a guy by the name of Jason Kidd, who was fast with the ball.
Yes. Artis got caught up in the air and couldn't find Holland. Turnover for the Cavaliers.
I think that's one of most coaches' pet peeve.
Yes,
is to the no look pass caught in the getting caught in the air and then did he? That's my guy.
Making the turnover more egregious is I think that pass hit Bill Russell in the face.
I thought he was Mr. Hands. I can't wait to talk to him.
The coach might reprimand a player for the turnover.
Always.
But if you hit Bill Russell in the face with the turnover,
you probably should be subbed out.
You should probably be taken out of the game. Here's what happened.
Hit him on the shoulder.
Got him.
Hey, he saw a legend sitting on the sideline, courtside, and he wanted to get an assist.
You think that's what was in his mind?
Himself. I hope so. I tried.
Jackson, quick trigger. Won't go. At some point, he's got to go apologize to Bill Russell.
I think so.
That's Bill Russell over there.
I think so.
Now you see great players get away with that, leaving their feet and then finding a shooter on the wing. Some guys can do it. LeBron does it.
Yes. Well, yeah, that's what they want to do. For their young guys, they kind of want them to just under control, making the right play.
Well, not everybody has that combination of vision and explosion and elevation. In fact, very few have that combination. Timeout for the Cavaliers, or the Kings, I should say. The Cavaliers have extended their lead to 11 once again. We're back from Las Vegas after this. There's Vlade Divac.
Oh, man, y'all don't
And
understand.
Bill Russell. Bill's okay. Bill's fine.
Yeah, he's good.
Bill's been hit a lot harder than that
For
by
sure.
like Will Chamberlain.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure he's caught a few elbows in his day.
NBA fans, be sure to download the NBA app to keep up with all things Summer League. Get your highlights plus scores and schedules with the click of a button to stay in the know with NBA Summer. Here's Giles again out of the post. Over the left shoulder. It's going to be a foul before the shot on the floor. You and I were talking about Giles' build off or during a break a while ago. He doesn't have the wide base of a prototypical post player, but they're working him in the post.
Yeah. Look, he wants it back. He's extremely aggressive. He's confident in his game.
He didn't like that Justin Jackson didn't get it to him.
Yeah, I tell you, you love his passion for the game and his aggressiveness. And this one thing we talk about is just control it a little bit. Like he wants to win. He wants to win, and you love being around him.
That ball may have nicked the rim. They're going to call it a shot clock violation.
Might have hit the rubber.
Not that any of you are keeping track of that sort of thing at home, but
I want to say I stood up and spoke to Bill. He saw it was me, and he said hi, all right, with his typical gestures to me. I've had the opportunity to hang with him for the last couple of finals in the suites, and it's a treat.
He's
not only just talking basketball, but man, he talks very bad to me.
There's Giles again calling for it. He wants it. Goes baseline. Oh, ran into Holland. No foul called. Holland came to help and ran right into Giles. White couldn't handle the pass from Artis there. It's chaos right now. Holland goes and he went hard at Jackson but couldn't finish.
Nice pass.
Good look. Giles with the layup. Nice pass.
Yeah, great. The bigs, ACC connecting.
Well, this is today's NBA. Look, who's a big?
Yeah.
Got a bunch of guys within 2 or 3 inches of the same size.
Right. And that's where you see the switching so much now.
That was August distributing. August is what, 6'10"?
Yeah.
Giles is about 6'10". Jackson 6'8".
It's a lot of ACC guys out here on the court right now. I just want to bring that up.
Okay. That's fair.
There's one Carolina guy. There's one Notre Dame guy. And then there's two
The ACC has like 36 teams now,
you
right?
say it, the other guys, where Giles and Matt Jones played college.
Yes.
Yeah.
Duke. That was Duke.
That's what.
Yeah. Yeah.
I keep forgetting.
ACC is not a small conference.
No.
Like 20,
Well represented.
28, 30 teams now, right?
It's almost like an NBA. The NBA covers. Wow, no foul
Giles
again.
lost that one. He's not getting any calls here. And if you just with us, we are down to 2 officials. We have an official, Matt Callia, leave the floor, apparently not feeling well, and he's not returned. They've added the alternate official.
Did they? Oh, there he is. Okay.
Jones will try the 3. How about Zach August in the playmaking here?
One thing, and he has his head up, on time, on target. As you see, I'm really big on the on time, on target thing. I mean, you hear it so much, but it's lacking in the game. All the guys want to make the spectacular pass. Right. And coaches say, if you're going to make that pass, make sure it's on time and on target where the guy receiving it can go and do what he needs to do.
Well, if it produces an easy bucket, it's pretty spectacular, right? Personnel changes for the Cavaliers now. Dakota Mathias is in, as is Vlad Brodzianski out of TCU. Which I'm reminded is the Big 12, not the ACC.
Yeah.
So we did have a third official who was already here for the next game and stepping in.
He's getting a little extra work.
That's right. And Summer League, you do what you have to do.
Yeah, for sure. Anything to make it into the big league.
Scoochie Smith goes behind the back. Some nifty dribbling is set up. Billy Preston, that won't fall. 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Cavaliers have led most of the way. August loves that move. Goes to the reverse again. And again, will go to the free throw line for an and one opportunity. He's got 16.
Yeah.
Zach August helped them keep the Kings in it. They trail it by 11 here at Thomas & Mack. Elimination portion of the tournament, and the Cavaliers looking to eliminate the Kings, who are within 9. Should correct myself before the break there. We'll take a look at the upcoming games. Summer League tournament continues tonight on ESPN2 and the ESPN app. Brooklyn, Houston, Detroit, Minnesota, Toronto, and Denver. And we've got
turn out the lights.
A power outage of some sort here at Thomas & Mack Arena.
And how
the lights just dimmed
as it hit the back of the rim. The lights go out.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was a brick. I'm just saying the lights went out.
Wow. So the indictment weird on the man's free throw touch.
Not at all. It was just weird.
We've had all sorts of unusual things here. Down a referee.
Hey, a little mood music here. We'll go with this.
Of primary concern, A, finishing the game, and B, the air conditioning. We're in Las Vegas, right?
Yes. Hey, we got to stick to the schedule now.
So the free throw went up. Did not go in, and the lights went down.
Yeah.
And as you can see, a lot of the lights are still on here. It's not like we've lost power completely.
We just don't have the main lights. So these are like the auxiliary lights, so to speak. I've been in an arena for a lot of years, so I tend to learn everything about an arena.
You're familiar with the operating systems of arenas around the country?
Somewhat.
We are in the tournament portion of the Las Vegas Summer League, as I mentioned earlier. The single elimination now. You see Sacramento and Cleveland, the number 21, number 12 seeds here happening right now. They will play, the winner of this game will play the winner of Brooklyn and Houston coming up a little later on ESPN2. And on the other side of this bracket, you've got Toronto and the Denver Nuggets, the number 4 seed, the Golden State Warriors, and Charlotte.
It's kind of like the East bracket.
Yes.
For the college.
It's a big bracket. 30 teams.
Yeah, this is a big bracket. So
we've got some buys at the top, including the defending champs, the LA Lakers.
Of course.
As the officials and folks running the building try to sort out this power outage.
Hey, Bird plays.
I still feel air. I feel good about that.
Yeah,
I still feel air
as long as we have some air.
So we don't have a San Antonio NBA Finals scenario.
Oh, yes. I remember that.
I was in the building that night. It was hot.
It was hot?
It was hot. LeBron, of course,
they were trying to bring the fans out.
And cramping. And, I mean, we noticed it early in the game. You're just, all of a sudden, you're sweating during an NBA Finals game. It's
knowing Coach Larry Lewis, he's saying we can still play the game because they can see. Knowing him, I guarantee that's what he's saying. Hey, we can still play. I can see. Larry Bird shot into something like this or darker.
Anybody who grew up playing pickup ball played in conditions similar to this outside.
And you knew when it was time to go home.
Yeah.
You still trying to get a couple shots in.
But this is a professional setting, and you want to be as safe as possible first and foremost.
I hear you.
They're discussing whether or not they want to continue under these conditions.
Let's go.
They decided that they will. We look darker. Everything's darker.
Absolutely. I got a tan here in Vegas. My gray is starting to. Never mind.
Live.
Yeah, I know.
Got your beat
That's
there.
Okay. Here we go.
I talked to both coaches. They both were fine and playing with their lights. Yeah, so both were fine.
I just got the word from Vlad Voyard-Tadal. He said he spoke to both coaches and they're both fine with the conditions as they are, and so we will play on.
Both old school coaches.
The next fourth quarter and 3 minutes plus. James Posey, Larry Lewis got together, said, let's play on. And we'll see if the lights come back on here. Not only for this game, but the games ahead here.
Matt Jones.
Matt Jones can see just fine.
ACC player that went to the college down the street from Chapel Hill.
He saw the rim okay.
Yes, he did.
In fact, he didn't even touch it.
String music.
Scoochie Smith. And Brodzianski traveled before he made that move into the lane. Strange doings here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, man. You never know what you see here. Or who you see, for that matter.
Both true. Marcus Foster.
Would you agree?
Up for the Kings?
Would you agree this kind of has the Garden feel now?
A little bit. You don't quite have the theater lighting.
Yeah.
Oh, hard landing. Don't quite have the theater lighting where they light up the floor and darken the areas around the floor.
Right. But it has that feel. It's like
there's how the floor is illuminated right now. You can see from the sky cam.
it's pretty neat.
Jamel Artis at the free throw line for the Cavaliers. Cavs have led by as many as 14. Kings have never led by more than a single point in this game.
Artis at 25, you consider him old?
For Summer League, he's on the older side.
Yeah. You don't see it.
I've
You don't
seen
really see them
30-year-olds in Summer League before. It happens from
you don't
time
see
to
it
time.
often anymore.
Not very often. A lot of times those are guys playing for European scouts, the 30-year-olds. They're trying to find a job somewhere overseas.
Yeah.
There aren't many guys of that age who are hanging on to an NBA dream coming back, or maybe they're trying to play their way back into the league.
For sure. For sure. I want to play. No, I don't. Actually, I don't. I gotta save the tread on the tires for the real thing. I need every game I play to count.
Jamel Artis played 15 games with the Magic last season.
Wow.
Spent a lot of time in the G League with the Lakeland Magic. Zach August back to the free throw line. He spent a lot of time there this afternoon with varying results. He's now 4 of 7 from the free throw line, and apparently took out part of the power with one of his misses. Affected the grid. He's right at 50%, 4 of 8 now. The free throw line.
I can honestly say it is a little dark in here.
It's a little dark. Billy Preston from 3 off the front rim. August has it out front. Strong drive there for Matt Jones. And Matt will take a turn at the free throw line.
I know he played for their G League team. Had him in training camp as well. Great guy, great player, great defender. Plays hard. We really enjoyed him. You know, it's one of those things where you enjoy a guy, and you just unfortunate thing, you can't keep everybody.
Right. Played 50 games with the G League club in Reno. 10 points a game. Got to work on the offense to make it in the NBA. 41% shooter last season at the G League level, about 30% from 3. We are now told we have experienced a partial power malfunction.
Okay.
Which is more or less what I said.
Yeah.
From sitting right here.
Yeah.
That's more of an official terminology, but
Yeah.
there you have it.
But you already called it.
Wenyan Gabriel.
The culprit is shooting, isn't it?
Well, apparently
Sorry.
you blame Zach August.
Oh, no.
You
Gabriel
blame
was shooting
Zach
the free
August. His free throw.
Yeah. I thought, okay. I thought it was Gabriel.
Was that Gabriel at the line? I thought it was August. Oh, yeah. My bad. I'm sorry. Sorry, Zach. Apologies to Zach and his family. That was Wendy and Gabriel.
Hey, you made this one.
Billy Preston to the free throw line. Undrafted. Remember, he committed to Kansas, a 5-star recruit, McDonald's All-American.
That's why I know that name. I'm like killing myself here. It's like, why do I know that?
There was an on-campus car accident at Kansas, left school. Played in the Adriatic League last season, only played 3 games there. So a little bit of a mystery, a talent, but a little bit of an unknown coming in.
Okay. Well, the name sounds familiar. I mean, being that I'm 20 years removed from college basketball.
Foster goes to the right. That's wiped away by Preston, but that will count. That is a goaltend.
Yeah.
Foster, you like the explosion.
Yeah, Foster going downhill, getting to the rim. Let's see here, Preston. He wanted to block that pretty bad.
Kings, by the way, have hit 3 of their 4 shots since the lighting darkened. There's Billy Preston's stroke.
He's lighting it up.
Somebody needs to.
Somebody, yeah.
Final minute here of the third quarter. He got away with the chicken wing. Got away with that. Devin Williams hit Brodzianski with the elbow. Gabriel picks up the foul. Cleveland gets it back here, up by 7. James Posey, Summer League coach, trying to move forward in this tournament.
He was a defender in his day.
Really good defender,
yes, he was. And a very good three-point shooter as well. Oh, 2 guys going for it.
Artis pick up the bonus points for the Cavaliers off that offensive rebound. Cardinal sin off a missed free throw.
Both guys going for the rebound and allowing another bucket.
Williams, hard for the rebound, but he stepped out of bounds. And it'll go back to the Cleveland Cavaliers. James Posey, twice an NBA champion. Once with Boston, one with the Miami Heat.
You see beside him there, Damon Jones.
Damon Jones, who's moved up to the bench.
A 3-point specialist in his day.
He'll be part of the Cavaliers bench.
And that he did very well. Talk a lot of junk himself.
He talks a lot.
Yeah. Still does sometime on the sideline.
Scoochie Smith got the crowd going a little bit behind the back. Running out of time. Foster, did he beat the shot? He did not. 8-0 run to finish the quarter for the Cavaliers, and they're back on top by 12. Every time the Kings get close, the Cavaliers put it away. Scoochie with some sweet moves to close out the quarter. It's a 12-point Cleveland lead. By 12 as we start the 4th quarter here at the MGM Resorts, Las Vegas Summer League. Inside the mostly lit Thomas and Mack Center, Thomas and Mack Arena. With Scoochie Smith picking up right where he left off at the end of the quarter.
With the Euro floater off the glass.
How many times has Scoochie dribbled behind his back in his short minutes here this afternoon?
I think every time down the court.
Jackson does not need an invitation. Nope. In and out. 4 of 19 now for the game, Justin Jackson. Cavaliers have matched their largest lead of the game at 14. Billy Preston to add to it, making a 17-point advantage.
We're now learning that Billy Preston can shoot the three.
Shoot a little bit, yes. Let's check in with Rosgold on Woode.
In that last timeout and huddle for the Cavs, I saw a couple of encouraging things. First, Colin Sexton, just a rookie coming over, being vocal and energetic and positive in there, telling his team, reminding them, hey, let's finish this off in the 4th quarter. Then you saw a player with 1 year of experience, Jetty Osman, come in there and remind about fundamentals. Guys, we got to rebound, lock in on the rebounds. And then finally, Summer League head coach James Posey comes in, and it's a whole fundamental conversation, guys. 50-50 balls, let's get them. hey, if we make our free throws, we're even better. And finally, let's focus on rebounding, but not just rebounding and putting it on the floor. Rebound and look up.
All good stuff from that Cavalier bench. Osman and Ante Zizic did exactly what you would like to see from your second-year players here for Cleveland. They've been the leading scorers for the Cavaliers. Neither one is playing right now. There's a look at Jetty.
But that's great for these young guys. I think coming in, they don't play much during the year, but they have a year experience. So when you come here and you get to sit on the bench, those are things that you know already that you can share and shed light with younger guys.
Both Osman and Zizic averaged 20 a game here, and both sitting out at this point. They've seen enough of those two as we get everyone separated down below. Foul is going to be on Harry Giles. If I caught that correctly. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. Foul's on Billy Preston, the other number 20. And the Kings will get it back. And double technicals on both 20s. Giles and Preston. Here's Giles back in the post. Been operating out of there all afternoon. Air ball for a little half hook.
Just need to take his time. Just rushing a little bit. After an altercation, you're heated. They go right to you. You want them to kind of prove your point by the next guy, and he just rushed it a little bit.
Artist missed. Brodzianski there with the follow-up, and it's a 19-point lead. This has gotten away from Sacramento. Giles with the offensive board. Back in that spot again. Smith tried to pull the chair on him.
Yep.
And Giles draws the foul.
Yep. Here's things like this. You see Giles getting to the basket, getting the foul. The importance of like your veterans. I felt that was my job as a veteran. When you see a guy in his feelings, if you would, going just in an altercation, come down, miss a couple of shots, to settle him down, just get in his ear and say, hey, come back down, play your game. And that's one thing, you know, I was able to do with someone like the Harry Giles or Justin Jackson or Fox or even Frank Mason. Those guys, when they get in situations like that, shooting slump or whatever, you just have to be an encouraging veteran.
Back here in Las Vegas, Kings and Cavaliers, mostly Cavaliers here this afternoon. That's Vince Carter. He's an 8-time All-Star.
Second
Still
half
available.
The Cavs. I am. Phone's right here if you need me.
Giles was off on the free throw, but goes off Cleveland. Sacramento gets it back. Preston couldn't corral it. Kings shooting just 31% here, and the guy with the ball in his hands is 6 of 21 so far. Justin Jackson gives it up that time to August. He couldn't finish the layup. Scoochie Smith behind the back to Preston.
Home. There again.
It works when you got a guy who's that athletic running the floor behind you.
Right.
Preston with the big finish, and Cavaliers have been lighting it up throughout the game. It's actually brightened up here inside the arena. The lights are back on. Cavaliers shining under them with a 20-point lead. Back in Las Vegas, one score already in the books. The LA Clippers beat Washington this afternoon, so they'll face the #1 seeded LA Lakers tomorrow night.
Battle of the LA.
Show you that bracket here in a moment.
Could that be the Kawhi Bowl?
It's a
Great
pass.
question. That's what he does. Like,
nice look by Giles, nice cut by Jackson on the timeout.
And that's something you want if he's not working in the post or scoring in the post, excuse me. Scoochie behind the back again.
Yes.
You know, he makes the right play. He can pass.
Air ball from Matthias. That's also good execution out of a timeout, which, you know, the Kings may not win this game. They're down by 18, but that's the sort of thing you can work on here in this circumstance.
Yeah.
There you see the bracket. Lakers and Clippers. Always a huge Laker contingent here in Las Vegas for these Summer League games.
They have a lot to be excited about, you think?
Absolutely.
Oh, great pass.
Absolutely. August, that's at least the third time he's gone left to right on a reverse and cashed in.
And you see the big high-low pass from Giles to August.
Smith has that ball on a string.
Yes, he does.
Back out to Preston. Billy Preston's already knocked down a couple of threes. That one won't go. He thinks he was fouled by Giles. Giles gets a little emotional out there.
That's who he is. He's an emotional guy, and you love it. And one thing I always say is every team needs one guy. Every team needs one guy.
Got a technical foul.
Double technical. They're both ejected because they both got a technical earlier.
Preston and Giles again. I think you're right. I think they're both going to be ejected. They've been battling here for the last 10 minutes of game time. There was a common foul on the play, and then Giles and Preston got into it again, and they had already been issued double technical fouls, so it appears they are out of this game by ejection.
Yeah. Now, do they have to go to the locker room?
I was about to say they do, but
it's a
neither
makeshift
one has
locker
left.
room. There's no real locker room, so I guess.
Right. Maybe not. In an NBA game, normally you have to leave the floor. You may be onto something, though.
Sean, their team security, sitting there waiting, so I don't know.
Neither one is left, and in fact, Preston is sitting down now. So they're out of the game, but not out of the arena.
Harry's mom is here, so I know she's going to get after him. She's looking at him with the face right now.
Well, you mentioned the emotions.
Yeah, he is that guy. I mean, that's what he is, and you love his competitive spirit, and he just has to learn to channel it the right way and at the right time. That's all.
Jackson fires away again. That was his 23rd shot attempt. Knocked down 7 so far. Sexton to Matthias, and Sexton will get it back with the Cavaliers up by 13. A little bit of a Kings run here. Get back into it. Sexton.
I'll say this. I like how Gabriel has played, how he played Sexton just then, because you know he's going downhill. If you're going to give up something, you give up the shot. Now, Sexton, who's really in rhythm and rolling right now, feels like he can hit any shot he wants. But that's from creating the offense earlier by getting downhill now. As you see, he's lured him with the dribble. Little jab step to the jump shot, just back him off just enough to get to his comfort zone shooting the jump shot, and it doesn't have to be a 3. So great court awareness and knowing where he is on the floor.
Wouldn't let him get to the rim, but Sexton been pretty on it from the get-go here this afternoon. He's got 23 now for the Cavaliers, the number 8 overall pick in last month's draft. So Carl White off on the three-pointer, and back come the Sacramento Kings, trailing by 15. Matt Jones, that's swatted away by Lee.
Oh, ooh, that could have been a knee problem. Gabriel's.
Marcus Lee comes over to erase that shot
way
attempt.
above the rim. Great timing. Is that on the way down?
That's really close. Really close, but it'll go in the books as his 4th block of the afternoon. I think that
he's way up there.
Might have been a goaltender. It had no chance of going in, by the way.
Absolutely. California product.
Goes in the books as a spectacular block. Lee was a Kentucky transfer, landed at Cal. Just under 5 minutes to go here.
A lot of bodies, a lot of players in Kentucky.
It's amazing how many summer league guys we see. Kentucky churn out. Gabriel for 3. That's a smooth looking stroke.
Shot, yes.
In rhythm.
Yes. Catch and shoot. Very nice.
Kentucky has 22 players in the NBA at last count, and that could change because you don't know who's going to make rosters.
Right.
It's beyond the obvious.
Do they have the most
first round picks?
Do we know that?
I don't know that off the top of my head, but they're a contender for sure.
They're definitely putting them in the league.
I'm going to guess yes. Here's Gabriel, just knocked down a three, puts it on the floor. This time got caught in the air and bailed out by the call. I thought he doomed himself to a turnover, and then the whistle came.
Yeah, bailed by the whistle. He should thank the ref when he gets a chance.
Wenyen Gabriel is long and lean. Good post defense by Breon Blake, number 77 into the game for the Cavaliers.
Just checked in and
out of Idaho.
Active. Yeah, very active.
Well, he looked at the clock. He said, "Hey, man, I got 4 minutes. Tops. Got to do something, right?
Yes.
Got to make an impression."
That's how you do it. I mean, that's what gets you a job when you're fighting for a position and a spot on a NBA roster. They want to see when you check in the game, your motor's already running. You don't have to get going. You're already ready to go.
Sexton once again into the lane and once again draws a foul. Colin Sexton has been working over the perimeter defenders and living in the paint here this afternoon.
Another technical.
And we've got another technical foul.
Number 2. And I couldn't hear the other one. Maybe
double technicals again. We got a lot of chirping going on.
I didn't hear the first one.
Sexton was one of the folks teed up. Did not hear the other one. It was Reynolds from Sacramento. That's Cam Reynolds. Cam Reynolds out of Tulane.
You enjoy the intensity, though. These guys are fighting for a position and playing hard, even though the game seems in hand. Playing hard and going at it and not backing down. We already know Sexton is a competitor. He loves to compete.
Sexton now has 25 for Cleveland. Corner three for Matt Jones. Air ball. Gabriel picks it up and puts it back. And Wenyen Gabriel has 11. Hand off to Sexton with 10 on the shot clock. Gabriel in front of him again. To the right. Nice recovery by Gabriel as he extended that long left arm out to block it.
He gave himself some room because he knows he's a driver, and then he was able to utilize his length blocking the shot. Great job.
Mathias. Desperation three falls out of the corner for Dakota Mathias.
Yeah.
And they called that a 2, I believe. First bucket for Mathias.
We got Hayes late, and he's a great player. I like it. Cavaliers up by 16. We'll be back.
To go here in the fourth quarter. The Cavaliers appear to be in position to advance in this tournament bracket. As you look at the Cavalier Brain Trust, Tyronn Lue, Kobe Altman to his left, general manager of the Cleveland Cavaliers. We recorded an episode of Open Court, which folks see on NBA TV, last night here in Las Vegas, another head coach's edition. Ty was part of that panel, and I asked him about how differently he'll have to coach this season now that LeBron has moved on, and you'll have to tune in to see the answer. But the synopsis is it'll be different.
I have a general idea of how he started it.
It'll be different this year.
Yes, it will be different, and I can imagine going through the summer this year. You look at your play sheets and all of your calls that you have. It said LeBron, and we go here, there, everywhere. Now you're going to probably go with your traditional point guard a lot. So it's going to be a different look and different style.
Well, they drafted one in Colin Sexton, who's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. You still have Kevin Love there, who has
George Hill.
Figure has a chance to be a go-to
I think they're going to
offensive
be a
player.
better team than people think. Now they just can go out there and just play basketball, and it's not. It's now it's going to the ball's going to run through your point guard first,
Right.
and then other guys are going to get an opportunity to shine, or just get more touches.
George Hill is still there.
Yeah.
Larry Nance Jr. still there. Jordan Clarkson still there.
Rodney Hood.
See what happens with
I think
Rodney
this is a
Hood.
big year for Rodney Hood.
He's a restricted free agent. We'll see
Right.
what happens with him.
Right. I got to say a happy birthday to my pops. Today's his
yeah, of
birthday. Sorry, Pops couldn't be there, but happy birthday. I know you're watching.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, man. You calling him the mayor of Daytona?
Can Pops still dunk too?
Nah. No? He's a shooter.
Austin spins, so Carl White got in the way.
He's definitely the mayor of Daytona.
Hey, seven. Chop.
Happy birthday
Yeah.
to Mr. Carter. Matt Jones.
Hey, rebound. Hey.
Will go. It's punched home.
Man,
And
long arms.
I think they
Did he
waved
climb the
that
ladder?
off.
Oh, what was wrong? Yeah.
Offensive foul with that left hand, I guess.
I don't know. Let's see. Oh, man. Hey, made for a great highlight.
Wow. Brandon Austin got folks a little excited here in the waning moments.
Ooh, he was going for another one.
Yeah. Can't blame him. Jordan Stevens there with the miss for the Cavaliers into the game. They shuffle folks in and out here in the final minutes. Austin lost that one. Well, Carl White started this game, still on the floor for the Cavaliers. John Holland likewise. And Carl White goes to the free throw line. One of the more veteran players out here.
Yeah. What year is this for him?
He's 25 years of
25.
age. Spent a couple of years bouncing back and forth in the NBA.
But I know he was with Cleveland last year. For
But
sure.
played with the Heat the last
Yeah.
2 years. Also played with their G League affiliate in Sioux Falls. 6 games with Miami last season. Played his college ball at Florida State. He's 4 years out of Florida State, though. Here's Gabriel. Reynolds
Tough shot.
shows off the touch.
One thing I'm impressed, particularly with the young guys, communication. There's a lot of chatter out there on the defensive end, which you love to hear, and what you don't typically hear from young guys as much. You usually have to stress that a lot. You hear a lot of guys talking. That's great.
Reynolds gets into the body that time and cleaned up by Gabriel. Wayne Gabriel, active, long arms.
Yeah.
Seen some things to like so far. He's got 13 points on 5 of 6 shooting.
He's been hitting the glass.
Stevens will try. That's well short.
It's a lot of arm to try to shoot over.
I mean, that ball was a good 3 feet short of the rim.
Yeah.
Gabriel fouled before he could throw it down.
We go, line it up. 2 shots.
More Summer League coming up next here from Thomas and Mack. You got the Bulls and the Dallas Mavericks.
Another one of my former teams.
Wendell Carter Jr. looked good for Chicago
I'm
so
extremely
far.
impressed with him with his game.
It's a shame we haven't been able to see Luka Doncic.
Yeah. I want to really see what he had as a player and if how he translates, how his game translates in this in the NBA game. You see a lot of European guys when they come over. That's one of the first things they talk about is just the difference. Obviously, the college guys say that as well.
Sure.
But the European game, the game itself is a little different,
Right.
And the style of play, and being able to knock the ball off the rim is a different
Rules are a little
thing.
different,
Yeah. So
There are plenty of adjustments, not to mention the cultural differences of coming over from wherever you were playing. And in Doncic's case, he's a pretty worldly 19-year-old kid. He's Slovenian, as folks may know, but has been playing professionally at Real Madrid for 4 years at the age of 19. Won 3 Spanish League titles during that time.
Wow, well accomplished. That's
Final
all right.
seconds here with Cleveland wrapping up the win. They will advance. Colin Sexton with 25 points for the Cavaliers. He was the star here this afternoon. He had 7 assists, 4 rebounds as well. And the Cavaliers get the win 96-84. Justin Jackson led the Kings with 20, though he struggled from the field, just 7 of 24 along the way. So the Cavaliers will move on to round 2. They'll take on the winner of the Brooklyn-Houston game, which happens at 6 Eastern time here on ESPN2. Happening right now, in fact. There's Sexton. Just continued to get into the paint.
Yes. I've been impressed with him. His game, he plays hard, very aggressive, downhill player. You know, we're saying, yes, he's not a shooter, so he sticks to what he does very well. And that's using his body, getting to the paint. You see there with a nice and-one finish, showing some leaping ability. The hesitation to the pull-up jump shot. He showed it all for us tonight. So Cleveland should be happy with what they have. And with now the post-LeBron era, you start to build around a nice piece in Colin Sexton.
9 of 15 from the field. He only took 2 threes. That's not necessarily
his thing.
His game at this point in his career.
But I tell you what, if he gets that in his game with his downhill ability, I mean, he'll be tough to guard.
And you think of him as more of a scorer than a playmaker, but he did record 6 assists as well.
Yeah.
And here he is with Roz.
Colin, you were able to show your explosiveness and speed today. How is the speed of the game and the way holes open up for you translating from college to right now?
In college, Coach Avery wanted me to utilize my speed to my advantage, and it just turned over once I got in summer league. So I'm gonna just continue to use my speed to my advantage while I'm out there.
You had a very efficient game as well. So when you're out there, how are you picking your spots when you decide I'm going to be a scorer versus I'm trying to create for the other guys out here?
I just watch a whole lot of film with Coach Mike on one of the coaching staff. So we just watch a whole lot of film, and he tells me what spots are going to be open and what shots to look for and stuff like that. So.
All right, and you know, in Cleveland, with LeBron leaving, some people feel like the Cavs might be forgotten this season. Do you think are they sleeping on you? Does that motivate you?
Not at all. It just motivates us to show and prove that we can continue to be a really good team. We're young, but we're going to continue to battle and hope for the best. So.
With some of the expectations lowered with him gone, though, in a way, does it kind of give you freedom, or does that come with pressure for you?
Not at all. Honestly, we have goals set as a team, and we're going to try to meet them without worrying about the outside distractions.
So it sounds like you're already talking about Golden State and finals. Those are long-term goals. What are some short-term, tangible things you can do, you're thinking about as you begin your NBA career?
Right now, just try to meet with the team every week and just go out to eat or whatever, just so that the guys can become one and everybody not out by themselves and stuff like that. So.
Awesome. Well, good luck the rest of the way. Congrats.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Guys.
Impressive afternoon for Colin Sexton. And he's got the team in mind. That team is moving on to round 2 with a 12-point lead or win here over the Sacramento Kings. Final score 96-84. Coming up next, it's the Bulls and the Mavericks as we continue from Las Vegas.